What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim live in Green Bay. Back to talk a little Packers this evening. I want to go ahead and give a full disclaimer. I've had way too much cough medicine, so this might get a little loopy. And Tim, if you hear me snoring over here, man, just sound an air horn or something. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Little tired myself, but I'm not under the weather, so I'm grateful. I hope you're feeling better soon there, brother.
Oh yeah, we're getting better every minute. Not really, but we're going to keep speaking it. So that's how that goes. But give a shout out to everybody in the chat. We got United Bates in the house, Jarrell Lee, AFAM, Mike Berry on fire tonight, Chris N, her money, and 2-0 for this. Good to see everybody in here. Here's the plan for tonight's show. We're going to do a little bit of news. Diana Rossini has put a tweet out about the Packers reaching out to Ryan Tannehill. We'll tell you what we know about that. Obviously, with the injury of Jordan Love, we kind of hit on that extensively in the early show today. Jordan Love's status being somewhere between 3 to 6 weeks is kind of seems like a pretty realistic time frame. We'll also briefly touch on all the scores across the league today, give you guys an update on what kind of action happened today. Then we're going to jump right into Chalk Talk. Just want to go ahead and let everybody know when we get into the Chalk Talk segment, be prepared to jump over to Rumble or X, okay? It's at Packers_access on X, and Rumble is just Packers Total Access. And the reason being is because we still haven't got confirmation whether or not they would shut the stream down if we use the NFL film or not. So
we'll probably never get confirmation, will we?
Never will, Tim. Never will. I'm convinced of it, man. So we'll roll with it that way and just keep the stream up on Rumble so y'all can just hop over there. You can find that link in the video description. I think we got it in the video description. If not, just go to Rumble and look for Packer Fan Total Access or Packers Total Access. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors tonight, and that's the good folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since '92, specializing in Packers tickets. They are Wisconsin's largest ticket source with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Just click on the link in the video description. That'll send you to theticketking.com where you can register for free as a customer. Go ahead and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. So
that's right. I'll be going to theticketking.com myself here. Gonna look for some tickets for the home opener.
There you go.
To be in attendance.
Let us know how that goes, man. And if they ask you on there, where did you hear about us? You say, some redneck talking football on YouTube. I don't know. So that's the way that'll work. Tim, is there anything you want to hit on before we jump into the Ryan Tannehill rumor mill and some of these scores? Anything on the forefront of your mind, man?
Yeah, Jordan Love's knee is on the forefront of my mind.
Understood.
And I've got this feeling, again, I'm not a doctor, but I think Jordan's going to come back as quick as possible. I think if they're talking 3 to 6 week window, I think he's going to be chomping at the bit to play after 3 weeks. And if he gets cleared, obviously it's not entirely up to him, but if he gets cleared, I think we're going to see him sooner than later. This is a big year for him. He knows it, and this team needs him. So we just got to ride out the storm here. Steal a couple of these next few games, and we should be all right, salvage our season. But putting good vibes out there. I think Jordan Love's going to come back sooner than later.
Yeah. And there's some people that are saying maybe 1 or 2 weeks. I don't know, man. I'm always going to err on the side of caution and under promise, over deliver, that type of attitude. So I'm planning, like I said, 3 to 6 weeks. If he comes back before then, hey, praise sweet baby Jesus. That's awesome, right? Yeah. We might get demonetized for saying that. You think, Tim?
I hope not.
You never know.
I hope not.
All right, let's take a quick gander here in the chat. Reese says, teach me something, Clayton. Hey, bud, if you're waiting for me to teach you something, you might as well log off for the evening. It ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? 2-0 for this says, Clayton sounded like he smoked closed cigarettes at an Alicia Keys concert.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I've been hitting the old clove cigarette, my man. Coach Lynn said, the games were awesome today. We are back. Amen, Coach. There were some dandies on today. And Zacchaeus, I hope I'm saying that correctly, watched the Colts game. And we can absolutely win that game with good defense and a run game. Week 3, their run defense is highly suspect. Joe Nixon, I think he meant Joe Mixon, maybe, ran for 150 plus. Yeah, and the other game I was keeping my eye on there, Zach, was the Titans-Bears game. an absolute dumpster fire. Will Levis completely gave them that game. I'm feeling really good about the Titans game too. Like, not like it's a slam dunk win. Obviously, you've got a backup quarterback in there, but we got an opportunity to win that game because he did not protect the football at all. If he goes out there and plays reckless like he did today, guys, Caleb Williams, the last I checked, he had under 100 yards passing, no touchdowns. The dude looked like he had no clue what the defense was throwing at him. And I understand there's a rookie, that rookie, whatever you want to call it, curve that we want to grade players on, especially quarterbacks. That looked pretty ugly. I came away from that, even though the Bears won, I came away from that game going, okay, I think this is what I was concerned about. He's got elite arm talent, but is he going to make those stupid decisions? Tim, there was one play, 1st and 10. He lost 19 yards on a sack, took him out of field goal range. It's like, what are you doing, dude? And it was because he thought he could run around, make everybody miss, and the NFL is a different animal for sure. So, all right, there we go. Let's jump right into the Diana Rossini. Was it 92? Holy cow! Coach Lynn said 92 yards passes, so that's what he finished with. So there you go. All right, so here was the tweet that caused a little ruckus. Diana Rossini tweeted out, "While there is no deal right now, the Green Bay Packers have reached out to free agent quarterback Ryan Tannehill. Sources tell The Athletic. The former Titans quarterback told me in July for him to sign, quote, it would have to be a right situation." Okay. Now, it's worth mentioning that people on Twitter told me that Tom Pelissero, this report was absolutely false. I combed through Tom Pelissero's Twitter page, and I couldn't find anything on it, Tim. I couldn't find him tweeting about it. So maybe he said it live on air at some point. I'm not sure. Nonetheless, what Diana Rossini's saying is at least the Green Bay Packers called and kicked the tires on Ryan Tannehill. Now, that doesn't mean they're interested in signing him. It simply means, hey, what would it take, right? That's probably what the phone call was. Let's kind of get your take on that, Tim. Now, we're going to pull up Ryan Tannehill's PFF numbers here, but on the surface, how would you feel about bringing in Tannehill until Jordan's healthy? What do you think?
I mean, I'm not entirely opposed to it. I'm also, we're just going to go ahead and assume that Diana's report here is accurate. You got to love the sources yet to be named, and obviously that's kind of how it works. You can't necessarily reveal, a confidential source within an organization, but I know that at 1265, we are known for keeping it extremely tight-lipped when it comes to anything as far as player acquisitions or anything like that. So I am scratching my head wondering if this is in fact just trying to, stir up the rumor mill maybe by, citing anonymous sources with this information. But I'm not accusing her of lying. I'm just going to go ahead and take it at face value and assume that maybe there is some truth to this. Clearly, if you're looking to bring in a veteran to kind of put a Band-Aid over this situation, Ryan Tannehill is the kind of guy you're gonna look at right now. He's available. He's a veteran, and probably gives us a little bit better chance to win a couple of these next few games. We haven't seen much from Malik Willis, and we have film on Tannehill. We know what he brings to the table. At the very least, I don't think Tannehill will be like a liability out there. He could probably run this offense for us in a pinch, and then we'd probably move on from him once Jay Money makes his return.
Yeah, I can understand the logic behind it. Now, how good will Tannehill be? That's the question, right? And I see Coach Lynn saying fake news. Coach, what's making you say that that's fake news? Just curious, because I'm combing through and I can't see anybody refuting the report other than, now listen, Diana could be wrong. We all know that, right? Of course. When you're saying fake news, do you have like proof that she lied about it or did anyone else openly speak about it? I'm going to make sure that this is a legit account here. Yeah, that's her account, 349,000 followers. So she definitely tweeted it out. Let me know what you've heard, Coach. I'd love to get your take on that, man. Let's see here. We got a super chat, Tim. Godsmack AR69 with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Man,
dropped the 50 burger on us. Look at that. Thank you very much.
Very generous, Godsmack. Thank you, bud. He said, luckily, God answered our prayers on love. I partially tore my MCL in high school. I was playing nose tackle, got double teamed, took a bad step, and felt my knee pop. Next thing I know, I'm slamming my fist into the ground in pain. Knee injuries suck. yeah, the fact that it's an MCL really did it gave me a lot of hope, and we started to kind of catch on to him after the game. When you seen Jordan still on the sideline and bending his knee, it's like that ain't no ACL. There ain't no way that's an ACL.
Yep.
And then of course it showed him getting off the plane. He didn't need any help, no crutches getting off the plane. So it kind of made your eyes perk or your ears perk up a little bit, like, okay, what's exactly going on here? But the MCL, the difference between the MCL and the ACL, guys, a full season out, possibly 2, 3, 4 weeks,
Yep.
That's pretty wild. And that was pretty nasty how his knee shifted. Typically that's a good sign that it's an ACL when you see that knee buckle in one direction or the other. But anything you want to add to this? And Godsmack, thank you so much for the super chat, bud. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right here. God answered our prayers, because that was, my initial reaction after screaming at the TV in frustration and saying a few words that God probably would prefer I didn't use in that moment. But said a prayer and tell you, it was a great feeling to see him get up and walk off that field, and they didn't cart him off. Same thing, seeing him get off that plane without an immobilizer brace or something on that leg, So good signs. I think he's just got to trust this process now and do his rehab and do whatever it takes to get back. And he's going to. I would kind of compare this to the way Rashawn Gary approached his rehab from his massive knee injury last season. He got back ahead of schedule and surprised a lot of us early in that camp last year. So I think Jordan could do the same thing potentially. I don't want to start any rumors myself, but I have a feeling it could be, maybe it's only a couple of games and he's back out there playing. So we'll see.
Got it. So, man, again, Godsmack, thank you so much for the super chat, bud. We appreciate you. 2-0 for this in the chat said Ryan Tannehill is not the answer for a couple of weeks. He wouldn't have time to learn the offense. We need a guy like Dobbs who plays like an MVP if he doesn't know anything about the team. That's interesting response there. As far as Tannehill not knowing the offense, some people were speculating and believing that he played for Matt LaFleur, and it's my understanding he did not. He missed it by a year. Now, Arthur Smith took over from as OC. He was the tight ends coach. He took over as OC, and he was still running Matt LaFleur's offense. So the terminology, the general grasp of the offense would not be like he's never played in this style of offense, but a lot of things changed since 2019, that's for sure, right? So, yeah. Let's see here. Professor Cake says, best situation, sign Tannehill. He plays well. Love comes back before the trade deadline, and then we deal Tannehill to a team that needs an emergency starter for a fifth rounder. Look at my man. 3 steps ahead here. Look at this.
In a perfect world, that might be exactly how this goes, right?
Yeah. Very in-depth comment there, Professor Cakes. Appreciate you, bud. Coach Lynn said, go get P.J. Walker or Brett Hundley with Willis and Clifford, and we are okay. I tell you, I like Brett Hundley. Brett Hundley made the Pro Bowl one year, which we know making the Pro Bowl isn't really like making the Pro Bowl from back in the day, but still, I think of all the people that may be out there, Brett Hundley piques my interest probably more.
What do you mean, man? The Pro Bowl is my favorite scrimmage of the whole year.
My favorite flag football game. Professor Cake says his pain tolerance is gonna play a factor. Remember, Rodgers sprained his MCL week 1 of 2018 and continued to play every game after. I didn't realize that was a sprained MCL. That's pretty wild. Think about it. I believe we actually got the drop for that, don't we, Tim? If I remember correctly, unless I got rid of it.
I don't want to jinx it.
Let's do it, Tim. What the heck? Oh, you blocked
my knee.
That's wild to think about. If that was a sprained MCL and he came out and balled out like that in a second. Of course, we affectionately refer to that as the PERT game. But
yeah, I was going to say your pain tolerance is through the roof, obviously, when you're dealing with those happy pills.
Exactly. Look at this right here. 2-0 for this says, hey, Josh Jacobs played quarterback in high school. Shrugging emoji. Let's go. Put him back there, man. Go 5 wide too. Let's do it.
Man, I'm telling
Tim
you.
said no comment.
I think we just give maybe we give this guy a call.
Oh, we're gonna give him some.
I'll tell you,
I bet you he can still sling it.
People have been talking about him a little bit here lately, and since the injury, I think he put a tweet out that he's gonna respond to that this week on that new podcast. I'm sure he'll laugh it off pretty
man.
well, but that's going to be good.
That's great.
All right, let's look at these PFF grades for Tannehill real quick. So last year, he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. His PFF grade was a 68.7. Okay, and let's see, I'm pretty sure that was last year. It doesn't really specify. Yes, that's correct. So here are his career grades in PFF. Now I don't want to spend too much time on this. We're going to jump right into Chalk Talk, but starting in 2012, it's amazing he's been in the league that long, Tim. That's just mind blowing. 68.4, 80.4, 75.6, 67.9, 74.2, 45.3, back up to a 92.5 in Tennessee. That was 2019. 2020, 90.3. 2021, 83.5. 2022, 74.9. 2023, 68.7. So the big thing that sticks out to me there, Tim, 2 things. 2019, 2020 were his best years. That's when Arthur Smith was there, I'm pretty sure. And then, so that was kind of that LaFleur style offense. And then after that, he's pretty much went downhill ever since. 83.5 down to a 74.9, down to a 68.7. So again, if he were to come in and perform in the 60s, Tim, that might get it done. That might you're able to split the games that he plays.
We've seen what I hate to draw the comparison, but I mean Joe Flacco. I mean we saw a resurgence of Joe Flacco last season. Really came in and played some meaningful football. And a lot of people wrote him off, thought his career was over. This may be one of those opportunities where, Tannehill could come in, carry us for a little bit, and then maybe he does. He moves on and gets a contract somewhere else and continues to have a great year. But yeah, I mean, the numbers don't lie, Clayton. You're talking about a steady, rapid decline since 2020 for sure. It's right there in the numbers. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to be Goody and Matt LaFleur right now trying to figure out what we're going to do. By the way, we have, practice this week. We've got an install for, the Colts game coming up. Like, who the hell is going to be QB1? We got to figure this out, and we got to figure it out quick. So we'll see. I don't know if Tannehill's the answer, but I'm not opposed to them going out and making a move right now.
Yeah, right. And again, if they think that he's the answer to be able to win a few games while Jordan gets healthy, yeah, I'm not going to go against it. I know this. I think he probably gives you a better chance than Malik Willis, I would imagine. But you never know until Malik Willis gets a legit shot too. And what I mean by legit shot, it's not just more than one game starting. It's like also a full week's preparation and a full week's preparation under Tom Clements and Matt LaFleur. That's totally different. And Adam Stenovich, that's totally different from a coaching staff over the last couple of years ended up getting ran out of town in Tennessee, right? So
right.
Yeah.
Very true.
Godsmack with the super chat. Thanks again, buddy. He says, I wish it was this simple, but let the offense flow through Jaden Reed. That dude can literally do anything. I tell you, man, he
played a little quarterback too himself.
I believe it, man. That dude is just a natural ball player, man. Jaden Reed is that jet sweep, and we're going to hit it on Chalk Talk here in a minute. The way he just casually scoots right between defenders, and they're falling off of him like he's damn Herschel Walker or something. It's like this dude is just it's quickness, it's pad level, it's agility, it's
he's slippery. He is just a slippery guy. It's hard to bring him down.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
All right, so Godsmack, thank you for the super chat, Bob. Appreciate it. Let's see what else we got marked in here real quick. Coach Lynn says, I have no inside source, just think she heard something and jumped the gun by saying we reached out. I know how Goot operates, and I don't think that's the move he makes. I'd have to agree with you on that, Coach. That doesn't seem like a Goody move.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. It's like you say, Tim.
Goody would have done it. The deal would have been done, and we would have had the breaking news. That's how we would have found out about it. I don't think he's going to consciously, But then again, depending on who her sources are, this could be a fly on the wall there that's, feeding her text messages or something. And, we don't know.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing she just, and I know Coach isn't saying that after reading that right there, nor would I think Coach would do that, Coach Lynn. But I think she thinks it happened.
Right.
Now, whether that's true or not, who knows, right? That sometimes you
Yeah.
get into a little bit of that. So, let's see. Ron Sample with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says 3 posts above are from Pelissero. So let's see if we can go to the 3 posts above from Pelissero. Okay, I think there's to see 2 here. This is what he says. The Packers have not reached out and are not expected to pursue any veteran quarterbacks, including Ryan Tannehill, per sources. The team expects Jordan Love back on the sooner end of the initial 3 to 6 week timetable, and are concentrating on preparing.
Okay, so that's kind of what I was thinking then. Like I said, man, an optimistic look here. Maybe it's only 3 games and we get him right back. So I get that counterpoint that why would you go out and juggle this roster around? What does that tell? What does that tell your young QB 2 and 3s here in the wings? What does that tell a guy like Malik Willis if you just bail on him right away the minute you need him? You're not even going to give this guy a shot. I think a great scenario would be for him to start that home opener at Lambeau against the Colts and rally the troops and go out there and get us a win, man. This team plays as a unit anyway. We have our stars, but they play together. And if they find a way to win with Malik Willis at quarterback, that would be a huge momentum shift for this team after dealing with that adversity in Brazil in week 1. So, I believe in any of these scenarios, but the best case scenario is we win against the Colts on Sunday at Lambeau.
Right. And you got a lot going for you in that regard. The team, other than your quarterback, is fairly healthy. It sounds like Josh Myers just had cramps, so you'll have your starting center back. It seems as if that's going to be the case, and we'll take a closer look when we get the injury report a little later in the week here. But you're going to be playing at Lambeau. Just go out there and play fundamentally sound football, man. Don't turn the ball over. Lean on the running game a touch. Lean on the screen game. Lean on the RPO game, right? You don't have to be a crazy accurate passer to throw a 5-yard slant or an 8-yard flat, right?
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like Malik Willis could manage that game for us, that he could manage that type of a role. We're not asking him to make Jordan Love throws. We're asking him to run this offense and let's play clean football and not have, 75 penalties like we did the other day. So,
right. Ron Sample, again, thank you for the super chat, bud. Thank you for the information there, man. Godsmack with the super chat said, also, let's ban international games for the Packers. First, Roger breaks his thumb in London. Then Love has an MCL sprain. No thanks, hard pass. I'll tell you, man, it's some bad luck on the road internationally. That's for sure, man. I'll tell you, it did make my night, though, seeing those Brazil fans, man. They were so fired up to see NFL football live. So, but yeah, so far, Godsmack, the luck's been pretty bad for the Packers internationally. That's for sure, man. Thank you for the super chat. Chris N said, Clayton, can we honestly make a run if we start 0-4 or 0-5? That's going to be tough. That'll be really, really tough. Again, even without Jordan, I don't think you're looking at an 0-4, 0-5 scenario. I think you're probably looking at something like 1-3, 2-2 is realistic. Now, the Vikings looked good today with Sam Darnold. They did. There's no doubt about that. So I think your best shot's probably the Colts and the Titans, although you do have Minnesota at home. That helps a touch. And again, if we get Jordan back before the Rams game, and let's say you did split let's say on these next 3 games you win 2 of them somehow, some way, right? And you're 2-2 going into that game, then I honestly believe you're probably looking at a 10-win season, 10 to 11 wins at best at that point, right? So maybe no lower than 9 wins, just looking at the schedule at a glance. So, but to answer your question, Chris, man, if we start 0-4, 0-5, I would love to sit here and be the optimistic and say we're going to run the table, but I just can't see that, man. I can't. Not realistically anyway. But crazier things have happened, I'm sure. So let's do this then. Let's jump into some of the scores today, then we'll get into Chalk Talk, man. I'm fading fast. I'm slurring my words over here and everything. It's rough, man. So the throat's going quick here.
You sound like Ron Tolbert there in the Brazil game.
Oh man, you're not talking about this guy, are you?
Yeah, the dude from Reno 911. Yeah, there he is.
That's the guy. So quickly recap around the league. Let me go ahead and update this and refresh it. Here's what we're looking at from around the league. Obviously, the Ravens and the Chiefs. The Chiefs come out on top 27-20. Packers dropped that tough loss there, 34-29 in Brazil. The Cowboys are boat racing the Browns 33-10. Looks like there's 5 minutes left in that game if it hasn't already ended. We got the Rams and the Lions coming up here later tonight. That'll be a fun one to watch as I doze off right before halftime, I'm sure. The Steelers come out and got a win with Justin Fields at quarterback. How about that? They win 18-10 over the Falcons.
Are they still saying Russ has got he's injured? What happened that? So
I think that's what they're saying, that he's facing an injury right now. So
okay.
I don't know all the details, but he had something going on there. The Bears defeat the Titans again. No help from Caleb. I'll tell you though, that defense, the Bears defense is legit. They're good. They were good last year. They're going to be good this year. There's no doubt about that. The Saints absolutely on fire today against the Panthers, who somehow, some way seem to have gotten worse from last year. The Saints win 47-10. The Vikings beat the Giants 28-6 on the road there. The Bills defeated the Cardinals 34-28. The Patriots come out and win against the Bengals on the road. And I'm not sure if Jamar Chase played or not. I assume he did. I could be wrong. But the fact that they beat them on the road like that, that's absolutely wild. So Patriots start off 1-0. You got the Texans defeating the Colts 29-27. That was a bit of a shootout up there in the Loud House. And then you've got the Dolphins over the Jaguars 20-7. Even though Tyreek Hill was detained before the game this morning. I don't know if you've seen that or not, Tim. That was wild news.
I was riding the John Deere today, so I don't know. I missed that one.
Yeah, so
what happened?
It was as the players were getting to the stadium, they usually show them walking in. All of a sudden, people started posting videos on Twitter of Tyreek Hill being handcuffed. So now he was detained and he was let go. He played in the game, so I can't imagine he did anything illegal. But it just I've been watching football for a long time. Never seen that one before. But,
interesting.
Yeah. Seahawks defeat the Broncos 26-20. The LA Chargers defeat the Raiders 22-10. The Buccaneers beat the Commanders 37-20. And then, of course, tonight you've got the Lions and the Rams going to be kicking off at 7:20 Central Time on NBC. That's going to be a good game to watch there. And then, of course, tomorrow night we got Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets going to San Francisco to play those 49ers. Looks like the Niners are 3.5-point favorites in that game. And then in tonight's game with the let's see here with the Lions. Where did it go? Where did you go? There we go. The Detroit Lions are 4.5-point favorites over the Rams tonight at home.
Let's go Rams. Go Rams, go.
Absolutely. Be a Sean McVay fan tonight. So that is just kind of going around the league there, giving your score rundown. So here's what we're going to do, gang. For those of you who are on YouTube, okay, we're going to end the stream on YouTube and we're going to stay live on Rumble. So you can go over to Rumble and just type in Packers Total Access. You'll see our channel there, or type in Packer Fan Total Access. We're going to stay live and do Chalk Talk. We're also going to be live on X. If you're watching on X, no reason to jump over to any other platform. You're good to go. And the reason we're doing this, just to briefly explain, we did Chalk Talks all year last year, and then all of a sudden we get into the off season. We're doing a couple Chalk Talks, and they demonetized the channel. And although they're telling us we're allowed to use that NFL footage, we just can't be monetized for it, which is totally fine. They won't tell us why they demonetized the channel. So that's what we're faced with. So we got to play it extra cautionary here. So we're going to go ahead and end the stream here on YouTube. You guys hop over to Rumble and onto X at Packers_access on X, Packers Total Access on Rumble. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back here live tomorrow on YouTube, again, around 7:20 Central Time. Thank y'all so much. All right, we'll give